the highlights. First quarter, first drive. Dak tries to get Dez going early here, but it's dropped by Bryant. Kind of the theme here for the Cowboys. However, Rod Smith would make an acrobatic catch off a tipped ball a few plays later. What a play by the Pack. Absolutely, Tom. Dallas' 17-play drive would be capped by this Dan Bailey field goal. Cowboys up 3, and then he makes his return, ladies and gentlemen. Eli Manning takes the field in the Meadowlands, and obviously Giants fans are very stoked to see their QB back on the field.
They like him a lot.
Oh, yeah, they do, Tom. After a few penalties on the Boise, the Giants convert a key first down on this 3rd and 4. That's Manning the Sterling Shepard. The Giants' 16-play drive does get capped off with a field goal of their own, Tom. Tie game 3-3.
2 drives in the first quarter. That was it.
16 and 17 plays each. Absolutely long first quarter. But the half is not over, Tom. Dak connects with James Hanna on his second catch of the season. Good catch for him. And then here comes this. Dez drop number 2, and then it's not over.
This was a touchdown, by the way. Like, he was going to score on this play. Or at least be down like the 2-yard line.
His bread and butter could not come up with the ball. Not a good first half for Dez. Cowboys trying to get some points off the drive, but Bailey's going to end up missing. Yeah, drops left and right. Bailey misses a 53-yard field goal. Actually, his first miss of the day.
I don't know what was wrong with Dan Bailey. I'm kind of concerned that he's hurt again.
We need him to be on the field, no doubt. Evan Ingram wide open for a Giants first down here. Wasn't looking good for our boys. 2nd and goal. Eli's going to find Rhett Ellison in the end zone for the touchdown. Giants go up 10-3 over the Cowboys with 2 minutes left.
I was worried here.
But it's not over. This happens. Go redeem yourself, Dez. You go redeem yourself. 50-yard touchdown for Bryant. It's 10-10 at the end of the half, and Cowboys fans are loving it. Third quarter was not that exciting, Tom, but Jordan Lewis makes a great play on the ball here, breaking up a pass on a crucial 3rd down. And with a little over 2 minutes left, Cowboys trying to take a lead, but Bailey, again, this is a 50-yarder.
I'm kind of concerned he's hurt because he was not good today.
Definitely want him on the field. 4th quarter, Giants marching down the field, but Roger Lewis would drop the ball. Cowboys can all have a collective sigh of relief on that play. Next drive for the boys, 12:27 left in the 4th. Rod Smith has a nice 18-yard run to try to put some energy in the lackluster Cowboys offense. And then Cowboys couldn't make any points off the last drive, Tom. Giants ball, but here comes Sean Lee with his 14th tackle of the game. We loved him on the field. Next Cowboys possession, the Bees Knees makes an appearance. Follow your blockers, young man. And this nice 44-yard gain for the Cowboys. This is when it started picking up.
Oh, yeah, the offense clicked all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, this would set up this nice play right here. Dak Prescott to 82 for the Cowboys touchdown. He finally showed up.
All game before this.
Dallas takes the lead 17-10. 2 Cowboys possessions later on 3rd and short. Dak quick pass to Rod Smith, and he's gone, Tom.
He's gone.
81 catch and run to the house, and that would just about seal it.
How awesome was Rod Smith in this game?
Fantastic. It was so great to see him have a little coming out game. Boys aren't finished yet, though. Giants going to make something out of nothing. Here comes Sean Lee again, picks the tip ball off, giving an offense great fild position.
I love Sean Lee.
Rod Smith would seal it off with another touchdown for the night. What a great game by our boys, Tom. Honestly, wasn't looking good at the beginning.
I was worried, and I think a lot of everyone watching at home or at work or whatever was very worried as well, because this was a 10-10 ball game. The Cowboys offense didn't look very good.
Terrible.
And then in the 4th quarter, and this has been an issue all year for the Dallas Cowboys, the second half adjustments. Well, in this game, Jason Garrett got out-coached in the first half. I think in the second half, maybe it was because of some big plays, the coaching staff looked better, and Dak Prescott ends up finishing in part because of some big run after catches, 332 yards. This was not a Alfred Morris running game for the Cowboys. This was Dak Prescott making plays through the air and getting the ball to Cole Beasley, Dez Bryant, and Rod Smith, as we all foresaw coming in this year. Rod Smith has 113 yards to the air and is the Cowboys' leading receiver.
I'm really proud of Dak for this game. You know, a lot of people will criticize him, just say he's a game manager. Those aren't game management stats, Tom. That's a quarterback taking over the game, putting his team on his back. He's without, arguably his best, option on his offense with, Zeke coming back for the Seattle game. But I'm really proud of him. I think he had a great game. Rod Smith stepped up. The D had 6 penalties just on the defensive line alone. It was looking kind of bad, but overall, my prediction came right. Cowboys come up top, 31-10.
30-10. Remember Dan Bailey?
30-10. Oh, yeah.
Dan Bailey missed the field goal.
I was off by 1 point then.
You were
Gosh
close,
dang it. I was really close.
You were very close.
I'm proud of myself. But we have a weigh-in for you guys. What is your instant reaction?
I'm sorry, Lena. Your prediction was 30-13. You were almost right anyway.
Oh, gosh.
So close.
Do you know what, Tom? Just give me some credit.
Close.
Give me some credit.
Hey,
we want your weigh-in. What was your instant reaction to the Cowboys win over the G-Men? Tom, what are your thoughts? So you're liking our odds, got to win out, looking at the playoffs. I like this performance. It's a 2-10 Giants team, but a division rival nonetheless.
My reaction is that this was a game that was closer than the score indicates. They really pulled away late in the fourth quarter. The end result was a matter. I think they did something a little similar, I guess, against the Redskins, where they kind of pulled away late. But that was a huge game for Dak Prescott. This is the game I think Dak Prescott needed for his confidence, because he hasn't played well without Ezekiel Elliott. And I know it's the Giants, and they're awful this year, which is actually kind of a good thing for the Cowboys, because no one here wants the Giants to be good. But Dak Prescott throwing for 300 yards and really getting hamstrung by several drops.
Yep.
I mean, he really could have had 400 yards.
His receivers weren't helping him today.
If Dak and Cole catch those passes, he's up near 400 yards in this game. So I think this was a huge game for Dak Prescott, one that he really, really needed to have. That's my initial takeaway. We'll talk more about this later on, but with the other action in the NFL, I still don't like the Cowboys' playoff changes, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the schedule and the remaining games in just a little bit. We're going to bring you back on screen, though. I'm Lena Bond. Next to me is Tom Downey, our Cowboys insider. Thank you for joining us in a little post-game report today. We are indeed presented by The Guild. The Guild offers luxury living in Austin, Texas, super high-end Airbnb stuff, but better. And
they're expanding to Dallas, Miami among the locations. So if you're taking a trip to Austin, you guys definitely should. It's a fantastic city. You got to stay with The Guild. Promo code CHATSPORTS for 15% off your stay. And if you tell them Brett and Lena and I sent you, they'll give you a little something extra there too.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and take it to some comments now. We're all smiling over here. Robin telling us, can't quit smiling. And I couldn't agree with you, Robin.
Agree.
I'm all smiles over here. Like Tom and I said, we were a little worried in the beginning, but I'm proud of Dak. I'm going to go off of what you said earlier, Tom. Really just, putting his money where his mouth is. All the time he's talking about, people can hate on me, people can doubt me, I'm going to still go out and do what I need to do, for every game. And he really did. This game, it wasn't a game management game, like I said. He really performed elitely out there. His receivers weren't helping him, but it didn't matter.
It did, and I think that was a huge game for Dak Prescott. Again, we'll keep these comments flowing, so keep your comments going there in the comment section. Producer Harris will kind of scroll through these here. That was a big game for Dak, and that was one he needed to have, and I'm very glad that we saw it happen.
Now, Rod Smith. Another fantastic game. Now, do you think he's going to get the look for the starting game next week?
I think they're going to stick with what they've been doing, which is Alfred Morris on first and second down, and Rod Smith comes in more or less as the third down back, and he was really great today.
He was.
And I think part of it was because I think the Giants got really tired down the stretch, but hey, 100 receiving yards and nearly 50 on the ground, you'll take that every week.
All right, we're going to keep with these comments flowing, and let's get to some of the first half highlights, though. We're going to break it down a little more than we did for the full recaps. First half was a lot better than the second half.
In terms of watching and up until 10 minutes ago in the fourth quarter. Third quarter was awful. It was so boring.
All right, let's take a look at these first half highlights again. First quarter, first drive. Dak tries to get Dez going early here, but it's dropped by Bryant. But we both know, Tom, that he would make it up a little bit later on. But drops were the theme in the first half. Rod Smith here making his first appearance, and it's an acrobatic catch off a tipped ball a few plays later. What a play by the back and a great game he had today. Dallas' 17-play drive would be capped off by this Dan Bailey field goal, the only one he made of the day. Cowboys up 3. Me neither, and I'm a little worried, Tom. We need him going down the stretch. Eli Manning comes back. Giants fans all smiles. They sure do love him in the Meadowlands. Few penalties on the Boys Z would set up this key first down conversion by the Giants on 3rd and 4. That's Manning to Sterling Shepard, kind of making us Cowboys fans nervous seeing plays like that go down. The Giants' 16-play drive just gets capped off with a field goal of their own. They couldn't convert. Game tied at 3-3, but the half is not over. Dak would connect with tight end James Hanna for just his second catch of the season. Fantastic catch by Hanna, though. Absolutely loved seeing that. First down, Cowboys, right?
I kid. Everyone wants Rico.
We all love Rico, but then Dez dropped number 2. Dez, come on. I hate seeing his drop. That's his 9th drop of the season.
That's a tough catch to make, but that's one Dez should always make.
Exactly. That's his bread and butter right there. And it wasn't just Dez dropping balls. Cole Beasley couldn't get that one. Probably lost it in the lights. And then this Bailey 53. This is giving me heart palpitations watching this first half.
I guess the good news for Dan is when he missed, he just barely missed.
He did. Then Evan Ingram wide open, probably the most wide open
Cowboys
any
brought
Giants
the pressure there,
on.
and it didn't work this time.
It didn't. Definitely misfired. And then 2nd and goal, he's going to find Rhett Ellison in the end zone for the touchdown. Giants up 10-3 over the boys. But then this happens, the play that we all love to see, the play that you called earlier in the week. Dez redeeming himself, a huge 50-yard touchdown run for Bryant. Tied game 10 at the half, and this is when you start seeing the momentum pick up for the Cowboys. We're going to bring up...
They needed that.
Oh, he really needed that. We all know how Dez is. In order for Dez to get involved with the game, feel good about himself, and continue performing throughout the season, you got to get him going, and you got to get him going early. So we want to know, who was the man for the Cowboys today? Give us some love for Dez Bryant for the monster game he had. A little shocked face for Sean Lee, because it is shocking how amazing the linebacker he is. Laughy face for Dak Prescott, and a thumbs up for Rod Smith. Tom, can we just split this 4 ways? I mean, I am proud of every single one of these players.
I don't know, give us, use all 4. You can vote multiple times. I was going to say there's also a sad face on Facebook, but that doesn't really work because you're not sad because the Cowboys won.
We're all smiles. We're all smiles. I'm going to have to say, though, Sean Lee, he had nearly 20 tackles, that huge tackle for a loss, and that pick to really seal the game away. I mean, this team is just a completely different squad with Sean Lee on the field. I'm just so happy to see him back and happy to see him healthy. He did leave the game at one point, was running on the sidelines, but we need him out there.
I think that was intentional. I think the Cowboys were trying to give him a break and make sure that hamstring doesn't tighten up again or whatever. I was super impressed by Sean Lee with the way he played, and this is something we've noticed for years now.
Yep.
Sean Lee on the field versus Sean Lee off the field is a 10-point swing. It's that level of difference for the Dallas Cowboys. I was super pleased by what we saw there with Sean Lee. Made a ton of tackles, including that big sack, or not saying that, the tackle for loss was a huge play there. I was pleased with Sean Lee, but in the end, though, I'm going with Dak Prescott. Look, I know that Dak had a lot of yards after the catch, but that's okay. I think that's a good thing. Dak Prescott played well. There were no turnovers. He had time in the pocket. This is what you want of Dak Prescott. Every Cowboys fan ever will say, oh, 20 of 30, 332 yards and 3 TDs, I'll take that every time.
Right.
So I'm giving it to Dak Prescott. This is exactly what the Cowboys needed. I'm very pleased by that.
All right, let's take it to some second half highlights now, see what our boys did to really seal the game. 3rd quarter, yeah, like we talked about, guys, wasn't that exciting, but the rook Jordan Lewis makes a fantastic play on the ball here, breaking up the pass on a crucial 3rd down.
The Cowboys finally get Jordan Lewis starting time, and he plays well.
And then this.
Just a hook. I don't know if there was some wind going on there, but Downey did not look himself. He missed an extra point in this one as well.
He didn't, but it doesn't matter because Roger Lewis would drop the ball here. All collective sigh of relief for Cowboys Nation.
Good no call on the flag.
I agree right there. Next drive for the boys. It's Rod Smith. Nice 18-yard run, but would
tackling.
not be his best of the day, to say the least. Cowboys couldn't make any points off the last drive, but that's okay because here comes Sean Lee with an awesome tackle for the loss.
Giants got cute, and they paid the price for it.
And then Cowboys' next possession, the Bee's Knees makes an appearance, follows his blockers, and makes a nice 44-yard gain. You forget kind of how fast and shifty Beasley is
There's
sometimes.
the Cole Beasley we saw last year we haven't really seen this year. A simple short route that he turns and gets upfield.
Yep. This was set up this play right here. Beautiful pass from Dak Prescott to 82. Love seeing Jason Witten score touchdowns.
His only catch of the day, but it was a pretty important one.
It was definitely an important one. 2 Cowboys possession later, quick pass to Rod Smith, and it's gone. That's it. 81 yards.
The Cowboys went 5 wide, more or less, with Rod Smith out there, and there was still no one in the middle of the field for the Giants.
Landon Collins, I'm pretty sure, was out at that point.
Yeah,
but our boys aren't finished yet. Giants are trying to make something out of nothing, and here comes none other than Sean Lee. Picks off the tipped ball.
I love Sean Lee.
Gives his offense great field position. It would be the icing on the cake for Rod Smith, who would have his 2nd touchdown of the day. Cowboys win big in the Meadowlands, 30-10. Man, can't stop smiling, Tom.
I think we're going to hear more of this on the Cowboys Report on Thursday here. I think that Alfred Morris versus Rod Smith is going to be a real debate going forward. Because Rod Smith had 6 carries for 47 yards and a TD. His longest one was 15 yards. The Giants did a pretty solid job of limiting the ground game, and Dak Prescott made him pay through the air. But Rod Smith, in part because of almost entirely because of the 81-yard TD catch, 5 catches, 113 yards. He was actually the team's leading receiver. That's kind of unexpected, but I think that's a very, very important thing there for the Cowboys to have a good back out of the backfield. That's not really what we've seen out of Alfred Morris.
Yeah.
He's not a great pass catcher, although he did have 3 catches today for 23 yards.
All right, we're going to bring up to some comments now. Sherry chiming in. I think the combination of Sean Lee and Dak Prescott, the leader of the defense and the offense respectively, they didn't do it alone, but their leadership got it done. And I think Sherry makes a great point
I
here.
couldn't agree more. And I think Dak looked very confident out there, and I think especially later in the game, he looked more comfortable. I think in the past couple games, because of the offensive line injuries, he just didn't seem himself. He's back on track now, and that's a very important thing for the Cowboys.
And when Sean Lee's back, you know your defense is going to get it done, too.
Exactly.
When you know your defense is going to get done, you're more comfortable being on the offense. John chiming in says, where is all the cornholes wanting to bench Dak? I agree that they shut up.
I'll be honest, I've never heard cornholes used as an insult, but I like it.
I like it.
I agree, John. I remember after one of the bad Dak games, there were calls to start Cooper Rush, which were stupid as can be, and I'm very glad I think we can move past that.
Yeah, I roll times 1,000.
Don't start Cooper Rush.
Evan says, welcome back, Captain Lee. Lee is
Huge
the key of the
defense.
D. We could not needed him more in this game. Great divisional win. More comments chiming in here. Any word on Awuzie? I heard he was being looked at for an injury. I can't say right away that I heard anything about his injury. Tom, do you have any information on that?
No updates on that yet.
No updates on that, Jared. We'll keep you tuned in, though. Tracy says...
He was evaluated, but I don't think it was anything serious.
That's good to hear. Tracy says, still got a shot at the playoffs. So this kind of brings us to our next little segment in this post-game report. Looking at the Cowboys' schedule moving forward, we've got 3 games left. We got the Raiders, and we got the Seahawks, and then we got the Eagles. So obviously, you got to win all your games to get into the playoffs, Tom. How are you liking our boys' chances right now?
I know that I know this is not going to be received with a lot of positive response, but unfortunately, I think the Cowboys are in really bad shape. And it's not anything that they've done. They've done their job the past 2 weeks. They've picked up huge wins against the Redskins and against the Giants. But the Cowboys don't control their own destiny. Now, we know the Eagles are going to win the NFC, so that's just going to happen. The Redskins are not a factor. The Rams and Seattle are factors. Seattle winning last week was huge. Even worse for the Dallas Cowboys, the Panthers and the Falcons won this week. The Panthers are now 9-4. They are in great shape because the Panthers, I think they're going to win another game. And if they don't, one of those games is going to come against the Falcons. They'll also get to 9 wins. We know the Cowboys are the tiebreaker against Atlanta. If Carolina and Atlanta both get in, let alone the Seahawks, I think both those teams are going to get to 10 wins. And I think that the tiebreakers aren't going to favor the Cowboys. So they're not eliminated yet, but they need a lot, and I mean a lot of help down the stretch here. And I don't know if they're going to get that. And I look at a team like Atlanta, Bucks, Saints, Panthers. So no matter what, one of those teams, probably Panthers, is going to get to 10 wins. The Falcons kind of have to lose out, and you hope the Panthers continue to win, and then you need Seattle to keep finding ways to lose games. Not only that, the Packers are still in the mix, and I think that the Lions are still in the mix. So it's a rough spot for the Cowboys, and it's not really their fault, but that's where we're at right now. So they have to win out for starters. 0% chance here that they get to 9 wins and get in. They have to get to 10. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
The NFC's too competitive this year, Tom. And
if they were in the AFC, they get in for sure.
And we had the Chiefs, who were 6-6 last week, leading their division, which makes me absolutely sick. But do you know what doesn't make me sick, Tom?
Nice.
Staying at the Guild. Staying at the Guild is the most luxurious experience you could ask for. And Austin, let me tell you guys, is probably the coolest city in the United States. I just went for the first time, used the Guild, and I didn't want to leave. And it wasn't just because of the Guild, or actually it mainly was just because of the Guild, because they were just so awesome and so accommodating. But honestly, guys, we can get you 15% off your stay with promo code CHATSPORTS. We couldn't recommend it more here. Tom used it, and your experience was nothing.
It makes me feel fancy, and I like to feel fancy here.
Who doesn't like to feel fancy? All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this Cowboys post-game report. If you missed anything or want to see those highlights again, don't worry. We're looping it all back for you, so we'll have that for you in just a second. But for Tom Downey, I'm Lena Bond. You guys stay classy out there. Like how I spelled that for me.